right, everybody, welcome to episode 75, where I just completely snorted into the microphone before I started talking. So that's going to sound disgusting. Um, I got the episode right this time because I'm wondering if that joke is dead yet. Keith, did you just pick
Mm,
up a guitar?
no, I'm looking. That was my laptop case because I don't have my antenna, and I'm waiting
Is
for my
his Zoom
Wi-Fi to drop.
background set to his usual Zoom background?
Yeah, that's his gym. Yeah, he does that every episode.
I
Yeah,
always thought he was already in his gym.
no, that's just
The
a
first
background.
30 episodes I was probably, and then I moved upstairs.
The ones with
That's
the
a
good
whole
high
rant.
quality sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like doing the intro, and Keith is like, "Anyway, here's Wonderwall." Like, thanks, buddy. So this week's episode, I have called together some of the crew wives. I have this idea for a long time, pretty much as soon as we started this podcast. And if you guys remember when I actually won the big check, the star of that video actually wasn't even me, it was my wife, Morgan. And I recall distinctly the process of her trying to help me come up with the idea for the video and then me telling her, no, that's stupid, we'll do mine. And then like during recording, I was just like putting her through so much that I was like, I wonder if other wives have to go through this kind of stuff. So finally got everybody together. Everybody agreed. I do want to say Mary was had initially wanted to be on, but she does send her regrets. She can't get on tonight. Mary would be Tanner's wife because, you know, the original. But I just maybe want to get everybody to introduce themselves in the round table. I will say Keith is here as much as he's been talking, but, you know, it's not about us this round. All right. So, guys, take your turns.
I'm Morgan. I'm Joey's wife.
I'm Stephanie. I'm Keith's wife, also known as the Mrs. No Wine Seller, apparently.
Nobody calls you
I
that.
like that.
Yeah, nobody
She
has.
does it on
I
Gym
like
Con.
that though. That's a good
At
one.
home
is,
Gym Con,
yeah.
that was a lot.
Even though I
Oh,
only
I love
walk
that
through it to the
one.
washer.
Worked out many a time.
And I'm Jen Daminger. I'm Big Chris Daminger's wife. He is not here. He's in bed. But I figure, you know what? I'm here. I'm a wife. I've got to go through all this crap too. So guess what? Here I am.
Yes. This is your second appearance on the podcast.
Yeah.
Morgan has
Yeah.
been inadvertently in like a few episodes, bringing me stuff or walking
Right.
by to change
Yeah.
or put.
I was gonna say
clothes or
bringing
something.
drinks. Like she's
Yeah.
like in the background. She's like, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've probably seen her more than anybody else because she's always bringing him something.
Right.
Can you give me a beer? Can you give me some iced water? I really want some cold water.
Well,
Can you give
I've
me
only
some
got.
Jaeger?
I think once in my podcasting career has Stephanie brought me something, but I've probably only asked 2 or 3 times, so she's got a pretty good average.
I know I'm usually fast asleep, so
That's very
I
true.
would if I
No,
could.
no.
All right. Let's do the two regular portions that we always do. I will start. I have my new Joe Hendry t-shirt on. Because when you say his name, he will appear. So this is a wrestling t-shirt, if you guys are wondering. He actually liked my post. I got his. Yeah.
You're so cool.
I am so cool.
God,
And
you're
I,
really going places, Joey.
yeah, and I am drinking a beer.
Nice. I'm rocking out a bubbly, the orange cream bubbly from last week, and I'm wearing my Orange Crew shirt. Morgan made this logo a few years ago, and Carp got it printed up in orange for me last year, I think. So it's a good one for this occasion.
I agree.
I'm wearing the Massonomics
Lifting department.
lifting department tee. And
Her
I'm
own.
drinking some tea.
Nice. Nice.
Nice. Oh,
In
out of a
in a
Massonomics mug,
dishwasher
too.
safe mug, I believe.
Wow.
He's actually
mark.
we have two. One is definitely frequently used. This one I dug out of the back because you could actually read it.
Nice. What about you, Jen? What you got?
I forgot to put my Massonomics shirt on, but my favorite one is the one that Morgan is wearing.
It's
The
so
lifting
nice.
department. It's so awesome. It's the best one.
It's lovely.
I love it. I actually wear it to the gym all the time. And then I'm just drinking water, which is obviously different than water. Clearly, it's much better. Keith, I swear to God, if you keep fucking laughing at me, Joey, shut the fuck up right now, okay?
It's water.
Clearly,
It's
it's much
water?
more magical than regular water. It's water.
It's
Yes. And it's interesting because sometimes I'll say to Morgan, I need to go pick up water. And
And it just goes over my head apparently because I don't care enough. But this is great. I feel-
Steph,
Yes.
Steph, what do you got
Yeah.
going?
Oh, I'm wearing a black and white Massonomic sweatshirt that I live in, wear it to work all the time. And I think I need one of those other shirts because that looks pretty freaking comfortable. And I don't have one of those. So, Keith, my birthday is coming up.
All right, I'll keep that in mind.
They're
I don't
thick
know.
cotton.
Hint, hint.
They're
Keith.
Love it.
they're
Yeah,
so
you-
good.
Yeah, it
You haven't
is
been able
the
to steal
cotton,
mine
and it
yet.
is
Well,
You
she
have
threatened-
one?
notch.
Ah,
I don't know.
Okay.
I haven't allowed myself to buy any new shirts until I kind of settle out of weight. So
It's not orange enough.
yeah, that
Yeah.
too.
yes.
She threatened to steal
It's
mine.
not orange.
I did.
And then I was like, the fuck you will. So I bought her one and told Tanner to write the card for her.
You have so many Massonomic shirts, and I've
Nah,
never
that
stolen
can't be true.
one.
Yeah.
Same
That
with sweaters. I've never stolen one of your
Same.
sweaters.
Can't be true.
Yeah, I've never stolen one. I think the only other time I've actually stolen a t-shirt, a Massonomics t-shirt, was the first Lift Hard Live Easy, and it's the curls. Like it's supposed to be Coors, but it's the
Mhm.
yellow,
Yeah.
and it's one of my favorites too. But I do not have a Massonomics shirt. I don't steal any from Dams, and this one he saw, and he's like, "Oh, I really like this one." I was like, "No, I want that one," and he got it for me, and it is the best t-shirt ever. It's the best Massonomics shirt. I love it.
Man, I think I have like 6 or 7 of his. So I like to steal
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. We love when you guys do that.
They make good night shirts. He's not too impressed when
Aw,
they're
yeah.
oversized, and he's like, "Can you please change?"
Yeah.
No, never.
Well, it is awkward sometimes when it's a Saturday and she's wearing a either a Basement Brandon shirt or a Massonomic shirt, and it's like, okay, this is intimate time, not I want to make out with
Saturday.
someone wearing a shirt that I wear. It's very awkward.
Yeah.
Been
Sure
told
it
to
is.
change many
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Like I love myself. I don't really love myself that much.
Just so what you're saying is that you need to get a nice big oversized shirt and then get his
Yeah. Yep.
big face on it.
Yeah, get a Keith's Head shirt with
Keith's head
Yeah,
shirt
Somebody make that happen,
There it is.
please.
before like just in
And
time for
duly
Saturday.
noted.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
had to
Maybe-
open. I had
maybe
to
the
open
next
the
bag
bag
of dicks that
of.
shows up.
Yes, I opened that and was thoroughly confused. Thank you to whoever sent that. I was like, "This
The-
looks like a bag of dicks," and I'm like, "It is a bag of dicks." Wonderful.
We still don't know who did that.
No.
I have my ideas, but we still
Yeah.
don't know who did that.
That's great.
I think it's
Um,
better not knowing.
Yeah, ruining surprises is always like I could deep dive and try to figure out who runs some of these meme page. Well, I think it's only one mystery meme page now, but it's like I don't want to know. It's just more fun to not.
I know. Anyway, so all right, let's get into some of the down and dirty here. I'm gonna ask and let everybody answer because obviously I know some of these answers about Morgan. How long have you guys known about Massonomics? Did you meet your husbands before or after they kind of got into the silliness? Did they ease you into it, or was it just like full on? So whoever wants to go first, if you guys want to like raise your hand just to make sure, like, oh, I got an answer, go like however you need to do that.
No.
I need to set up this
I
screen.
knew Damage way before Massonomics, like way, and then all of a sudden he started lifting, and he's like, "Oh, I started listening to this podcast," and I'm like, "Okay," and he's like, "Oh yeah, I listened to it on my way home. It's these two guys who like lifting," and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." And then like fast forward a year, and it was quite literally a cult, and I'm like, no, I think at this point, I think you actually need to stop talking about these Massonomics guys, and I think we need to get you help. Actually, is what I think we need at this point. And it literally it snowballed into something, and then they started talking about a meet, and here we were, like however many years later, and I was in South Dakota, and I'm like, this
You're like,
this went
"Babe, we're
way
going on
farther than
vacation."
I-
Woo!
yes, right. Yeah, I knew Dammy's way before he even lifted, and we actually started lifting together, and he kind of stuck with it, and then I can't believe how much this has snowballed. I still to this day can't believe it.
Yeah, same. I think we have similar stories. I didn't know anything about it
Mhm.
until I realized that he had been staying up late listening to these guys and
hiding it from you.
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly. And then
he's
he
under a
on me.
he
He's
showed
under a
me a
blanket
couple
with a
clips
flashlight.
The Wednesday live, the consistent Wednesday live recordings, and like because that was always like, she's like, why is there noise coming from the living room at 10 o'clock at night?
Yeah, and I think I
I'm laughing my
truly
ass off out
found
there.
out. Yes, you were laughing hysterically. It scared me half to death in the middle of the night. But then one night I was trying to tell you something important, and you're like, "No, babes, this has got to wait. Like the podcast is about to start, and you're gonna have to tell me later." And I'm like, "Okay, that's great."
Oh, that
Well,
isn't
it's
it weird
live.
that
I can't.
initial.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like for us wives,
Can't tell 'em
that
to
first
pause.
initial like I choose Massonomics over the serious
Over you.
conversation that you want to have
Yes.
with me.
And they
Okay,
don't.
that when that started happening, right? I was like, "Oh, this is it. There goes our marriage. There it
Yes.
goes."
I have to say, please acknowledge at the end if I'm saying something important. Then I need to make sure that he is actually retaining.
That's really
I-
true.
Oh, right.
Yes, I literally say, please acknowledge this is an important thing you need to retain.
Morgan, your
Facts.
perspective?
So I remember pressuring you into getting into a podcast because I had several I was listening to religiously. I'm like, you need a podcast. You need something like this. And so finally one day he came home and he's like, I found a podcast. And then it was Massonomics. And then first it was, yes, those Wednesday evenings, the recording evenings, just disappearing. And then came Sunday dinner. In the middle of our scheduled dinner time was when they
When the YouTube drops. Yeah.
when the YouTube dropped. and so like we were desperately trying to get our son to eat dinner because he was 2. And he'd be like, nope, can't. Refresh, and just be sitting there at the table.
Phrase for first comment,
refreshing
yeah.
For first comment. And then of course
my god.
I got third. I got second. And that would even be if we went out to eat. Like it was great. It was
Grown
fun.
men doing
Yeah.
this.
Every single
Literally
Sunday.
grown ass men. And it would be weird because like at nights he would take his phone into the guest room and like go back there and listen to it like wow, I just went to sleep and he's in the other room listening to like the live recording of Massonomics, and I'm like, okay, so this is my life now. This is what
like
I'm married.
The Hinder song in real life, right? Like he's in the other room.
He's in the other room.
Discord while you're calling me so late.
But if we didn't catch the live, we'd be a week behind on everything. I mean, yeah.
Oh my God.
Couldn't you be talking to a woman to make this a little more normal?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Right. But this is like they were listening to these 2 goofballs from the Midwest talk about lifting. And I'm like, I don't think I could actually tell. Right. And like, I don't even think I could tell other people. Like when I told my mom, like I had to break the news to my mom. I'm like, Mom, Chris is obsessed with this podcast and it's 2 men and they're just talk about lifting. And I think I should be worried. And then here we are. Here I am. And I'm just like, my mom's like, my mom and dad know about Massonomics. My in-laws all know about Massonomics. Like, it's a household name.
So Steph, sorry to interrupt there, Jen, but just want to say,
no, you didn't.
We'll start with Steph. So what was it like? You kind of gave us a hint there. Everybody did. Like, how did it feel to just slowly watch your husband go from, I actually ordered a banner and it arrived. And actually my brother now has that banner. We're not allowed to say what the banner was, but I got the last one. And it's hanging in my brother's thing. And then to suddenly just turn into not suddenly, but like slowly progress into what it was to now I'm hosting a podcast about that podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little nuts. I never would have thought that my entire basement would be taken up with banners and knickknacks and all kinds of stuff from all of these locations, all of the, not just Massonomics, all these other podcasts that he listens to too, and videos and whatnot. But I don't know, it's been nice. I think it's good for him to have a hobby and occupy his time, but sometimes it's a little much, but we make it work. I'm happy for him. I can go do my own thing. But I'm sure you've all seen the before and after pictures of what our basement looked like. So it's quite mind-boggling what he's done with it. But I think it's pretty cool. I was into lifting too, a bunch of years ago. So I get it. I get that it's a kind of an addiction, but trying to explain it to people, it becomes a little odder.
Jen,
I get a little defensive and I'm like, it's fine. It really is fine.
It's fine. No, really, it's a healthy. It's a healthy thing.
It's healthy.
the
It
Sydney
sounds weird.
Sweeney
It
meme.
sounds that weird. But yeah.
It's the Sydney Sweeney meme where she's crying in the mirror while the husband's in the background doing Bassonomic shit. Jen, same question.
Wait, what was the question? I'm so sorry.
How does it kind of feel to see them, the transition from, oh hey, I might have found a podcast, to what you're doing right now? Like, you're on a podcast.
I love
it. Podcast.
I love it. This is insane. I not only have I seen like such positive changes in Dams, I feel like not only has it helped him to stay healthy, and it's given him an outlet. He's found solace in a lot of you guys, and in things that maybe I can't help with. So on a more serious note, for him, seeing him grow mentally, physically, emotionally, and have this support group that he literally talks to more times a day than he talks to me.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Same.
For sure. Right. Like, he does not text me. He's in Discord. Like, I can't. So not only has that been like insane to watch him do that, but like seeing your guys' success, watching you guys hit PRs and make it to meets and create a podcast from a podcast, and have all of this, like, it's been such a journey for me, the official unofficial crew member, to see everyone's success. I'm so proud of everyone. I think everyone sees it has kind of come together, and we've almost become a family in a way. And for me, it's like my mom is still to this day, she's like, I can't believe you guys go to the Midwest and see these people and have this much fun
twice a year.
Do you guys even know these people? Right, twice a year.
Yes.
Like, if that. And like, for me, and it's so funny because and I work for one of the like sponsoring companies, Build Fast Formula now. Like, I am their director of social media. I'm the one running all that behind the scenes stuff, and so much has come from Massonomics, and I don't think Tommy and Tanner understand the magnitude of Massonomics and what it's become. So it's been awesome to watch.
I do think Quinn even hinted at that when he was on the episode, that like these guys started this podcast back in 2016, and I don't even think they have control of it anymore.
No, the community that I mean, so like they obviously do their own
of course, but
yeah.
All right, Keith froze. Morgan. Sorry, Keith, you froze, so I moved on. Morgan,
you're good. No, I'm good.
Your same question.
Same question. Based on, you're gonna have to repeat it again.
God damn it! What was it like watching the initial lift banner show up, and then to what we're doing now?
Slowly,
how was
going
that
into chaos?
Yeah.
Well, I think I remember you guys talking. You were telling me pretty much everything that was happening in the Discord for a long time, and everyone talking about getting into the podcast. Like, we need to start a podcast about this. We need a podcast about a podcast. And I remember telling you a few times, do it. Just do it then. And I'm so proud of how you guys got here, and it's amazing. It is so difficult to explain to others. Of course. Yeah, I'm gonna be dead air. It seems. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Morgan is having her wisdom teeth out tomorrow, so she's on a little bit of a pain medication and a little bit of nerves there. No. So, the one day she was on a call with her Discord, and I had walked out, and she was trying to explain our podcast to that Discord. And then I just walked out and double bide. I just stood in the background.
There was a few people impressed. They were like, whoa, okay.
I do have to say that
at that point she didn't have to explain anything, Joey. They just saw you and they were like, we get it. We get it now.
Steph, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, Keith has come a long ways too. The first, I think, Arnold event that we went to together, he was afraid to walk up to certain people that he had watched on YouTube or whatever, and but had looked up to. And I didn't give two hoots because I knew who they were, but I'm like, oh. So I would walk up to him and say, hey, my husband wants to talk to you, and drag him over. And now he's gone into this and has put so much time and effort into it. So I'm really proud of him.
That's actually a really good example, I think, of, and I know you guys kind of joked earlier, like, Joe, you're so popular. I don't know any of these people, but it got to the point where people at the Arnold knew me. And that was kind of wild, right? Where people recognized me that I've never seen or met. And I went from lifting in the driveway by myself to going to the Arnold and getting recognized. Like, that's wild.
I'm still not sure why my husband's floating head is in all these places, but yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Like, I see one behind you and it's kind of distracting.
Yeah. There's
Move
actually,
a little over.
yeah,
You know
there's
how
That
many
was-
behind him right
That
now?
was hilarious.
But it's
Yeah.
been fun, so I appreciate all
So
that
there's
support.
there's one there.
Yeah.
There's
Oh, there's
one
more.
there.
There's
There's
the sign that Dammy made is here.
The dam's made, yeah,
That was
the
awesome.
little
Good one.
heads.
So these
Yeah.
Joey's in our bedroom, and at one point we had a stack of these stickers on our night table.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So I'd be in the room, and I'd be like, "Time to get dressed," and I'd be like, I had to turn over. I'd be turning over little Keith heads because it's not even like he's staring straight at you.
His
It's like
eyes
he's
follow you.
and like I swear, just following me everywhere I went. Like there's one or two in the basement. So if I go to work out at
Yeah.
all,
Oh,
he's
man.
staring at me while I work out. He's staring at me in the bedroom.
Yeah, he's everywhere.
I apologize
He's
to the entire
everywhere.
community.
Jeff, has he never
Joey's the one that
explained
did
it
it,
to
not
you?
me.
Has he never explained it to you?
I'm sure I did, but
I'm sure I did too.
It was at the first Crew Falls, and he took a selfie, but he had to put his face
yes.
in it.
Yeah. He had a-
And then I was like, "The fuck am I looking up your nose, Keith? Like, what kind of picture is this?" And then I
my
think
documentation.
he posted
fucker.
another picture, and then one of the Davids cut his head out of the original one and put it at the bottom of that picture. And then we all just started doing it to every picture everybody posted.
Now there's
and-
an app for it.
Yeah, and
hilarious.
then there's a shortcut on iOS
Yep.
for it now that
Oh,
any photo
wonderful.
you want,
That's
you can
why.
add to
Yes.
Keith's
Okay.
head. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I still
first
think-
time. Oh, no, sorry. Go ahead.
I still think the funniest one is that I personally made was somebody was doing sandbag throws, and I guess they threw it up and then like ran so that it didn't land on them. And then I was like, "You look like you're running away from the sandbag." And then I put Keith's head on the sandbag.
That was a good one.
So it just looked like Keith's head
Amazing.
is barreling down out of Keith's head.
I think Massonomics
Oh my God.
sent him a couple of those, and
Oh,
they were
yeah.
out on the countertop when he had a
Yeah.
lift party, and somebody literally thought they were party favors, and I was like, no, sorry.
No, because I only had like
Can't have
3.
those. Yeah,
only-
there was only
yeah.
a couple. Like, those are his pride and joy right now. I'm sorry.
Well, it's because
Yeah.
we didn't like
He needs to
Hunter
strategically
literally,
place those around the house so that he
Yeah.
stares
Tanner
at you when
made
you're
those, not me.
unexpected.
Yes, instead of security
Yep.
cameras, floating heads everywhere.
That's
So, like,
just-
Yep.
You open a
floating
cabinet.
Keith's selfie heads.
You open a cabinet to get out the coffee, and there's a Keith.
Oh, actually, Keith, you'll be
Ops out.
real proud of me today. I picked up a bag of what I thought was 50% off meat sticks, and they were cat treats, so I put them back.
I hate you. You sure it wasn't a pepperette, you prick.
Do you want me to get the pepperettes out? It does say pepperettes on
Yeah.
it.
That's a Canadian thing, I'm sure.
Yeah,
It is. Yeah, it's a Canadian brand. They're
This is half of the episode.
Schneider's
Stephanie
right?
and Jen is like us, Joey and I, just learning the differences. Even though we live 3 hours apart, there's completely different culture and like life
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
between Canadian
Different
stuff. And American.
country. Yeah.
So
it's
100%.
pepperettes. It's a small pepperoni. It's a pepperette. It's like a
s-
it's like a cigarette is a small cigar.
I never even thought of that.
Never
I didn't either.
See, this is why she's the brains
teaching
of the house.
moments.
Okay, so obviously the Keith's heads is probably one of the number one. But what's the silliest thing that's shown up to the house, and you just open it and you're like, "The hell is it?" Sorry,
The
and you're
bag
like,
of dicks.
yeah, like that's a good example. That you're just like, what is wrong with you guys? Like, you're adults. So I think the bag of dicks is a very good example. Jen and Morgan, what's your take on that?
The Keith's head pillow.
Mhm.
Oh,
Nate.
yeah.
So he told me
Or
because
no, it was Joey.
I was kind of digging into his like surprise bags that he was getting sent like to do live opens or something, and he's like, "This is one of those. Like, can I peek at it? Like, I kind of want to peek at it. I'm not going to tell you what it is." And I I did one of these and I died. I think I was buckled over laughing on the ground because I'm like, what the shit's going on? I'm like, you're gonna like this. You're gonna enjoy this. And I put it by the computer. It's like you're gonna like that. But I don't think we've had much other craziness show up to the door otherwise.
Well, okay, like that would probably, because Jen, Chris not being on the podcast that often, like you probably think of shirts or gym equipment or something where you open it, you look at it, you go, what the hell? Why'd you order this?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, besides the Keith heads that made it to Lift Hard, Live Easy, the ones on a stick that everyone,
Did he order those without even telling you, and they just showed up to the house? Because that's the best.
Yeah, I think he ordered them and then decided to tell me to warn me that yes, that one that Joey's holding. Yes, he decided to tell me to warn me that Keith heads were showing up to the house.
What does that sentence mean?
Okay, what?
Yeah,
right. I'm like, what in the actual fuck
what's in the box?
does that mean? Right. I'm like, and then they showed up one day and literally there was like a dozen of them. And I'm like, there are a dozen Keith heads in my fucking house right now. And then it was my responsibility to pack them because I also had to pack stuff for Build Fast. So I'm like, how the fuck do I get Keith into our suitcases without like
bending him,
folding him somehow?
I got one back, and I was afraid it was going to break through TSA and all that shit. So I don't know how
Did you have to explain that through TSA? That would be amazing.
So we went prepared to explain to the TSA guy, like, listen, it's just a joke with like our friend, like, you know, whatever. But they didn't even stop us because I'm sure they've seen weirder shit.
Yeah.
than Keith heads on a stick. Like, yeah, I think I'd have to say that's probably the weirdest thing that showed up. That and like, you know, 200 of like the unpaid, underrated like beer koozies that he's had made and like, you know, certain things.
Dammy's got a lot of, he did the UNU koozies for us. That was good stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
But he made them for tiny cans for ants.
Yeah, for the Mick Ultra cans.
Yeah.
I kind of had felt bad because then I basically quit drinking on the podcast right after he made them. I was like, I'm sorry, buddy, but Fridays are hard.
Okay. I'm gonna ask some of the crew questions. Actually, I already have. Murph was quite a few.
A lot of them are kind of overlap.
Yeah.
I'm excited to hear these.
I'm nervous.
Okay, no. So Tommy, obviously one of the podcast hosts from our sister podcast, he would say, do you really understand what's going on? And how much do you try and keep up?
I think I have a fair idea of what's going on.
Yeah, like
it's a cult.
It depends.
The major moments, yes.
It's a cult.
Yeah. Right.
So, and I understand that, like, the camaraderie and the crazy community, and I understand enough, I think, of their podcast. But honestly, I listen to the Unpaid and Underrated because why not listen to my husband more during the week?
It's not like I'm talking to you. I'm talking to Keith most of the days.
Right. On the Discord. But like from what I get from Unpaid and Underrated, I have a very good idea. And then how excited everyone gets for all these events and stuff. So I think I know what's going on.
I feel you in a lot. I do.
Yes. You talk about it a lot.
Well, because I'm sitting here giggling at my phone, so I'm going to share why.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So wait, no, but that's funny that you just said that because that was what I was going to say is that like even Chris, just before like he worked out when he got home like a few hours ago, he was like sitting there giggling at his phone. And I've gotten to the point where I already know that it's Discord that he's giggling at. So I'm just like, oh, what's going on? Meaning like what's going on in the Discord. I try to listen to everything like, and I try to stay up on crew stuff, right? But it's overwhelming. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I don't know. He's talking about like Dodds or something. I don't even know what he was laughing at. I just kind of like, oh, that's good, honey. Go ahead, go have your fun. See you. You go. I'll see you later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I care about you guys enough that I want to know what's going on. Like if something, and then if he tells me, I'm like, oh, that's funny, sweetie. That meme was really good. That's good. I'm so proud of you. Okay, good. I'm going to go back to the room and read a book now. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like, I try to stay up to date, but some of it's all the same.
There's an extent too that like, you got to keep up to date because otherwise a bag of Keith's heads is going to show up at your door and you're not going to know why.
Yeah.
Just warn me. Warn me before the bag of dicks. Warn me before the Keith heads.
There's no warnings.
Warn me before. Right.
Steph, same
Not
question.
Facebook me first.
Steph, same question. Do you guys like how much does he keep you up to date?
Pretty much the same. I find out about a lot of things by accident. Like when we went to my parents for Christmas last year, I just heard this gasp and I turned around and looked at our neighbor's yard and there's this huge ass statue of Will Ferrell. I'm like, oh, I hate that guy. And he's like, I know, me too. It's a whole crew thing. We got to go get a picture. And he drags me over to these neighbors that I don't even know. All I know literally is that the husband is a cop. So I'm like, oh, well, fuck, thanks. So I'm trying to look very non-threatening. I'm walking up and then the wife opens the door and is like, hello, what's going on? And he's like, can I get a picture with Will Ferrell? And he made me take a picture and that's how I found out that was the thing. So
yep.
I kind of
that
find
has also
out in the
happened
moment.
to me. I've had to do those things where like, we have to do something specific so that he can get the picture for crew. And
Okay,
I'm
so-
like,
Yeah, don't spoil that, Jen. Let me get into that. That's actually a question I have. What is the silliest or stupidest thing that your husband has made you do to help them in the Massonomics world? So Jen, you were about to tell the story. You might as well keep going.
you know what? But it's like so many little things where like I can't even like describe like what Steph just said about like Will Ferrell. Like I know that that's a crew thing, and I don't know the backstory. I just know it's a crew thing, and he's made me do those stupid things where he has to get the picture or he has to like send it to crew or whatever. And and it's so funny because I was thinking back and I'm like, besides spending our vacation money on going to the beautiful town Aberdeen, South Dakota, and not something that's fucking tropical every fucking year. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I don't know what else is crazy. I've had to dress like Thomas Jefferson before for this.
Had to do the Jefferson deadlift.
So he can do the Jefferson deadlift. I had to order a wig off of Amazon. Like I went full out for this movie. Okay. Like I literally will get on board and I'm just like, I feel like no matter if it's crew related, I'm like, I'm on board. Let's go. Like, what is it? You know? And it always turns out great. It
does. And for those of you that don't know, is anytime we all do get together, Jen ends up being pretty much everybody's social media manager. Right. Like, I think
for sure.
For at least
I'll
me,
get pictures.
for me and the Gingers and Matt, you were just in charge of everything.
Oh, let's go.
Right?
The Gingers, the Gingies.
Yeah.
We were so good this year. We got such good content this year.
We did actually.
Yeah, for
sure. It was really good.
Morgan, same
Wasn't
question. Silliest thing, stupidest thing you've had to do.
So I think the silliest thing that I had to do was help you film that video, which
it's the Scants Reveal video that I won the contest for,
in which I was not very good at because I think you had to take about 20 different shots of me because I would burst out giggling within seconds. You'd be like, no, you can't keep doing this. Like, I can do this myself. Like, because it was taking so long. And I'm just like, dude, I don't know how to do this. I don't know why you're asking me. I'm bad at cameras. And then the thing that I really wanted him to do was walk out of the shower wet. I wanted the shower to be on. I'm like, no, like if it's your last shot, then just go for it. But he's like, no, it's stupid. The last shot needs to be out of the dryer.
Yep.
Fine. And then that's the one that I think that took the most shots. So the stupidest thing I think I've done was on my own volition. And that's when the one crew member came down and you had a little package for him of like some stickers and cigars or something like that because it was
lifting straps. He didn't have lifting straps and he was driving by our house anyway. And I was like, we'll just swing by. My wife is there. Yeah.
So we had this little package for him and I'm like, well, if Joey's not here, time to dress like Joey. So I went through and I found Massonomic shirt. He just got that big jean jacket that had all the patches on it. I found a lifting hat. I put a cigar. I'm like, yeah, I can see Joey. I put on some sunglasses.
She did the open mouth smile and point that I do in all my pictures.
Not all of them I found out, but enough. But yeah, I tried to Joey it up a bit. He probably opened that door and was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I thought I was picking up a package. No, you're getting pictures. Yeah, he moved to the States. He plays football. He's not very active in Discord anymore, but I think he's still around. Steph, What's the silliest thing you've had to participate in, or was the Will Ferrell story like the top so far?
Well, I had to actually participate in the Jefferson deadlift, so that was interesting because
That's
I
true.
did it. We
he
did a
had to
tandem.
use a little baby bar so I didn't hurt myself. And then, yeah, it was quite strange. It was interesting, but it was fun. But I would say that's up there. And definitely the Will Ferrell thing, just because I was afraid we were going to get shot by a cop, but it all worked out.
I don't think that's how it works.
We were on his land.
That's true. So this my next question I think is going to be kind of tied into something I want to ask Jen. But I would say everybody give me your view of Massonomics in general. This is from Tanner. Your view of Massonomics with one word. Don't say cult.
I would say fraternity because
Good
that's
one.
kind of the vibe that I get, especially after going to the first meet. Just a bunch of
Yeah.
bros, and there's some girls, which I was happy to see. But
Yeah.
just that vibe
Yeah.
of just hanging out, having a good time, but also so loyal to each other and always supportive of each other, and just that community feeling.
That's a great answer.
I love that
Yeah.
answer, but I am a little shocked to hear that you had a good time. Because
Me?
because Keith has no good times when he goes to lifting meets.
I had a great time. I mean,
I'm just kidding. It's a thing I tease because when he gets so focused, Keith is like, we call him Rude Keith because when he's so focused, he's not like fun, right? He's like, get out of my way. I got to do my lift. I got to focus on my lift. And it's like, so that was sorry to put you through that, but that was an example of stupid shit you got to go through for the crew is, yeah.
Yep.
I know you had a great time, but it's just funny because Keith is kind of
he's focused. Yes.
focused.
Acquired taste.
Yeah, he is focused.
No,
For
you're not
sure.
an acquired taste. You're just focused. Jen, what's your shot there? One word.
Yeah, my first one that came to my head was community right away. I wanted to think of something like really smart and funny just because like you guys are a bunch of goofballs, but community, hands down. I 100% agree with Steph. It's all you guys coming together. You're loyal to one another. You lift each other up when you need it and you make each other laugh. And you guys have been together for how long now? So I feel like it's such a beautiful community. There's no other word to really describe it besides maybe family. You know what I mean? But other than that, that's right away what came to my head.
Morgan?
I would go with big.
Yes.
It's big. It's been a big deal. It's the big events, big people, a lot of big, and
yeah.
Big billboards, big sending random strangers,
Everything.
Big
banners,
checks.
big checks.
Yeah.
All right. Jen, you have an ad read for us for
Yeah.
Massonomics.
Do I? Oh yeah, I do. What do I do?
You read your ad read.
Did you write one?
Wait, where did it? No, I didn't. I didn't write one. I thought I was reading one that you guys were sending me. I'm sorry. I didn't
Don't
write
worry
one.
about it.
But I
No,
can
it was
say
just
I work for Build Fast Formula, so I mean, I could get some stuff off the shelf there.
Nah.
This could be just one big long ad read.
We
No,
we do because they actually sponsor this podcast, so we try and throw them a shout out, but at the same time, this entire podcast is a shout out to them. So
Yeah.
All right, Heath, do you have anything, or do you want me to keep leading this?
Yeah. So it's not really anything on there, but the one thing, to kind of go back to the weirdest things. I know Stephanie had commented on this earlier. I don't know if Morgan or Jen has ever had this. So multiple times she's caught me in the base, not caught me, but like, so she's upstairs and I'm in the basement recording a video for one of the contests, and I'm having to talk into the camera, and I might not necessarily warn her, so she thinks I'm talking to her, and then she'll like fuck up my video.
What?
And I'm like, dude, I'm fucking, I'm talking here, I'm working here, I'm walking.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
Okay, like, so that I can't be the only one that's happened. Okay.
No, I'll hear him talking in the other room, and he's talking in such a like confident manner, like somebody he's talking to somebody. I'm like, who?
Yeah.
Who the heck are you talking to? That's not a phone voice.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? I have to start over again.
Preps now. Hey, Stephanie, I'm going to be doing a video. Don't talk to me.
No,
Thank
no.
you. That's all I need.
That's what Damager does. Damager will literally be like, I'm recording a video, and I'll okay. fine, I'll go fuck myself. I'll just stay upstairs. Jesus Christ. But like, if he doesn't tell me, I go downstairs. I'm like, who are you talking? Like,
Yeah.
what's
Oh,
going on? Are
we
you
hate that.
okay? Yeah.
Yeah, we hate that. That's
It's
very
like-
He's
fair.
like, I'm recording a video.
It's like mumbling happening somewhere else, and I'm like, what?
Right,
And he's like,
right.
what? It's like, I hope you didn't ruin my shot. Like, I'm just like, settle
So-
down.
So
It's
you
fine.
guys, so Steph and Jen, you've traveled to Aberdeen,
Mhm.
and Morgan has traveled to Columbus on one occasion and Keith's house on another occasion.
Yes.
So how do you feel being dragged around in some instances, 2 countries
Mhm.
or across the continent for just, this thing that we do? I got to say going to Keith's house was amazing. I actually organized
That
that
was
with
fun.
Steph behind the scenes, and that was
I
really
love
fun.
surprises.
The kids were, Steph was awesome with the kids, and Morgan and Steph hung out. Like, it was amazing. But like, is there any hesitance at all when we say like, hey, I'm going to so and so? Like, how do you guys feel about kind of being dragged around? Or are you like excited to go? Like, Jen, you always seem excited when we see you.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so funny because I feel like since Chris trusts you guys, I trust you guys. So going to South Dakota, like I'm not a big traveler as is. I've gotten better over the years, but knowing I had to go to South Dakota with a bunch of strangers, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have to make the best of this at this point. Like
Mhm.
at this point, I'm being thrown to the wolves here. And my first priority is always Dammy's, right? It's like I go for him and make sure he's okay because even though it's like a fun event, right? He still takes it serious. You guys all still take it seriously. You still want to do your best. And I think for me, like knowing that my main goal to go out there is to support him and anyone else who needs my support, that to me is like my first priority. But like the fact that we all get together and we just like act like it hasn't been a year since we've seen each other and we all just kind of like we start talking like we saw each other yesterday, like that just makes it 10 times better. So honestly, I kind of love that I get drug around to and I'll get to, now that I work for BuildFast, like I'll have to go to more events. I'm sure I'll be at the Arnold next year, things like that. So for me, like being able to see you guys now at these events and being like, I know him. Okay. We go way back. You know what I mean? Like knowing that I know all these people, honestly, like I kind of learned to love it. I think it's great.
Yeah,
Steph or
same.
Morgan? Yeah.
I don't consider it being dragged to them. I went to all of his powerlifting meets before. So the first year that we went to the Massonomics Lift Hard, Lift Easy, it was just another powerlifting meet at first, a little bit further away, but I also don't travel well. And I guess I didn't fully understand the scope of, hi, Daddy, the scope of all of the extra events. So,
Cat butt.
hi.
The cat is
Yeah.
like, this is
Hello.
my moment.
Yeah.
This is my moment.
So that first trip was kind of exhausting for me just because I tire out pretty easily these days. But the meet itself was great. And the fact that everyone walked up to me and introduced themselves like they knew me, even though they had no idea who I was other than I was Keith's wife. So that was pretty cool. And then we went to the Arnold that year also, but I convinced him to go because I actually been there before, a couple years before. I actually did a meet there or an event there. So I knew that he would love going there. So I kind of pushed him to go. So I feel like I'm supportive because I've also been in that field and that community before in the past. So I know how important it is and how exciting it is. But this past year I didn't get to go because I got a new job. So I didn't have as much vacation, but I'll be supporting him next year back to business. But I think it's fun. I don't consider it being dragged. I think it's important to support each other. And he supported me for years with all my random things that I like to do. So just trying to be a good wife.
It definitely snowballed, I would say, though, because I didn't really travel to do anything personally that I wanted to do for like a decade or more that I could remember. And then she was like, "Yeah, let's go to the Arnold." And then like that year, I did like 4 multiple $1,000 trips, with socialization, friends, and lifting, all kind of part of it between Arnold, Home Gym Con, Massonomics, and then Massonomics again.
I do have to say the best part is he now is more comfortable traveling himself. And I don't
I was about to say
necessarily
that.
have to go because he's has
I've
more
never
fun
traveled
without me
by
sometimes
myself
because
until
sometimes
Yeah.
I'm a lot.
I was about to say
So-
something along those lines before I get to Morgan's answer there. I pointed, but she's on this side of me, which is weird. First, thanks for calling me out for saying dragged around, because like that is a perspective sometimes that when you are adjacent, that, you know, like you're coming reluctantly, but that's not necessarily true all the time, right? So I appreciate you for kind of correcting me on that one. And also, but same, like I have only ever been to the US once, and that was back in 2018. And that was like Apple flew me. They took care of everything. They were literally just like, you show the TSA this and you'll get through. Like that was it. And then never again. And then this year I flew to Aberdeen by myself. Right? Like the extent that you know, you come out of your bubble and you get into this, like, well, I gotta go. It's Massonomics. I'm flying again to Sioux Falls. And I'm trusting a random stranger I've only met once that he's gonna pick me up at the airport. Like, it's wild.
You know how
Morgan.
many Dateline stories start that way?
This podcast is turning into a true crime
True
podcast real quick.
I'm there. I'm there.
I'm gonna have to stop listening.
Yeah, that's
snooze fest.
what did Jen say the one day, where because we were talking about Big Jen, sorry, about meeting her in Sioux Falls, and she's like, "Oh, I completely believe I'm going to be fine, but there's millions of true crime podcasts for a reason." And I was just like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I never thought of that." Like, anyway, Morgan.
Yep. And Big Jen is a huge true crime fan too.
Yeah, I know. So Morgan, kind of same answer. I think you've done a powerlifting meet but you attended, which you did amazing. You dragged the kids on a train all the way 4 stops. You sat in a car with me to go to the Arnold and stayed in a hotel, and like you did all of this stuff. And like, how does that? What's your take on all of that? That I'm not making you do anymore. You're not doing anymore.
A lot of it is mostly if I didn't have to drag kids around with us, then I would probably be going to a lot more because I enjoyed it. Like I loved going to the Arnold. There's pictures of me walking around with Saga strapped to my chest.
Mm-hmm.
There was like I enjoyed walking around the city, even with just them to some extent. And then when like we forgot about the meet where I had to get on the train without you and then go down several stops. And then I'm desperately trying to get there. And I've got 2 kids just dragging behind me. I think I have a stroller or something crazy going on. And I'm so unfamiliar with that train station. And there's 2 parking lots. And one was the right one and one was not the right one. And you had to go through the entire underground to get to the other one numerous times. But as soon as we get there, it's fine. But getting there to that one specifically, not fun. And then going to Keith's, that was pretty fun.
That was awesome.
It could have been more chill.
It was definitely because like we landed and then we're like, eat dinner, go to Keith's, get out of there the next morning.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think that definitely next time Keith knows I'm coming, things will go a little differently.
Yeah, like at Keith's, and then all of a sudden it was just like 7:30, and then by the time we ate, it was like 8:00, and then it's just like the kids are just
a mess,
crashing. They are inconsolably just wild. Get to the hotel, everyone crashes, then in the car, and then away we went. I'm like, I just wanted to like stop at Target or something.
I will say from our perspective, I'm probably speaking for 99.9% of the crew, having you guys there to support us makes it not only easier, but more important to us, right? There was nothing I enjoyed more than Oren watching me lift weights in front of 50 people. There was nothing I enjoyed more knowing that I know it was a hard trip for you, but you did it so that you could see me do the thing I love doing. So
yeah, and that's also a huge part is that it's not just I want to be able to go see these things. It would be easier without them, obviously, but knowing that how much it means to you and how much it means to Oren, and eventually soon Saga, because she's going to really remember these kind of things too.
Mm-hmm.
When we got to watch you even doing your lifts on the computer,
yeah,
when you were in Aberdeen. Like I was there. I was making sure. I'm like he's coming on now, guys.
Yeah,
and your mom even got to see a lift of it too because she was visiting that day. So it was, you had a lot of love and support. I wish you could have seen the faces, kind of, in the crowd in the wave. But like, yeah, we'll always be there to support you with that kind of stuff.
The worst part about that is I sandbagged that lift because I knew I was winning anyway. Because I probably could have done 450, but I was like, I looked at the rankings and was like, why 425? Like, I don't think I'm not going to tire myself out even more. Okay, let's get back into some fun. I thank you for the serious talk there.
I got a funny one.
Yeah, please
basically, go. More or less, I know Stephanie has a problem with this. The other two girls, can you pick Tanner and Tommy out of a lineup? And
oh no!
If you can now, how long ago until you could?
Oh my
because
God.
I've even been guilty of calling them, Tonner and Tammy and shit like that, and I always get their names. I know who they are, obviously, but
yes.
There has to be a learning curve before you realize, because they're both 6'2", 200+ pound dudes with long hair. So it's
long hair.
It's both.
I still have
the
issues.
T's.
Yeah.
Yes, someone needs to change their name because this is ridiculous.
Yes, seriously.
Oh, like
how dare they?
Them apart?
Yeah.
No,
which one is which? Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. I have it now. I think
I
no, already bad with names and faces.
I had it for a little bit. Yeah, no, Dan still has to tell me. I'm like, wait, which one is that again? And I'm like,
Tommy's the one with the Fabio hair.
I literally taught you that last night, though.
Oh, Jen, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I think I talked over her.
What is S?
Oh, yeah, I don't think so.
No, okay, yeah, you just froze out there for a second. Sorry,
wife
guys.
of Dammy's.
Yeah, Spanish.
Okay.
Esposa.
Española.
No, yeah, I still can't. I used to be able to tell them apart, and but I still question it. I'm like, damn it, dude, I should know this. It's a shame. I'm
they're not even twins. They're not even twins.
No, one's dark hair, one's light hair. Come on.
Tanner used to be like 285 pounds, and now he's like 250 pounds. Yeah. So he's like that. Doesn't help that they're a lot closer in stature than they used to be too.
Spending as much time as I have with them, it's easier for me, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Which kind of brings me to, at the Arnold. I don't want you to come to the Arnold again. The Arnold is Mad Max. The Arnold is just 3 days of lawlessness, stupidity, and craziness. I don't think.
And that's why I want to go to. I would love to go to that.
You just watch me pounding beers with Dan Bell. Like
I love conventions. I love expos. I love that kind of stuff. Like I used to do the Anime North. I used to do Fan Expo, and like eventually I started doing the whole weekends. And it's such energy, and everyone's chaotic, and everyone is just having a good time, varying degrees, but no one's really there and being like, oh yeah, this sucks. Like, no.
Yeah.
You go there for a reason, you know what to expect to some extent. And it's amazing, even if you're not necessarily into those things, but just being around people who are just so excited.
Mm-hmm.
And it's incredible. And watching you run around, and even I could have just sat down and just watched you run around and be introduced to people and meeting people. That would have been great.
Yeah, it is a hell of a time, Jen. And I'm hoping to make the Arnold next year. I'm not too sure about any Aberdeen trips next year, but I think the Arnold is on the table, at least depending on how my November, December sales go.
Yeah.
I was a little bummed last year that we went to the Arnold, because the couple years before, when I went without Keith, they had the strongman competition happening right in the middle of the expo area.
Yeah.
And that year they had it separate, and you had to pay separate tickets and everything.
It was VIP.
That just made it so much more of a experience, being able to just look over and see Half Thor 10 feet away throwing the sandbag. So I was bummed about that, but yeah, other than that, it was awesome.
Well, hopefully you guys make it out this year. I know that's not Keith's priority to go to the Arnold, but
I think Keith's going.
I'm 80% chance going to go.
Awesome. I had one and I lost it. So do you want to do the Mount Rushmore there that I highlighted?
Yeah.
I had another one I was going to get into, but it went away.
And I will do the least fun, most fun that's there, at least
Oh,
for two of
please,
the
yes.
guests. So we'll do a little. You guys familiar with Mount Rushmore? So just give me your top four of the topic we're going to bring up. So this one this week is basically your Mount Rushmore of Massonomics shirts. So or apparel in general.
Yeah, I was going to say let's do apparel in general because I think
So
there's
shorts,
a shipment coming Morgan's
hoodies,
way at some point.
t-shirts, etc. Like, what are your four things that either you like the best on us, or you like to wear them yourself? It really doesn't matter. It's all druthers, and you get to choose. But Morgan, what do you think your top four is?
This shirt,
Yep.
Yeah.
like easy, like it's such a high quality cotton shirt. I love it. Those new shorts you got,
With the red ones,
everyone,
the squats.
I haven't stolen them. I did try them on. They did not suck. They're pretty nice.
They weren't nothing.
Shining endorsement.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
think of all my other shorts. All my other
Yeah.
shorts are like 3 or 4 inches, right? Like they're for deadlifting or something,
Yeah.
right?
my thighs do
Shorts.
not allow for 3 to 4 inch seams. That is uncomfortable in seconds. But these ones, they're nice and long, they're baggy. They'd be great home shorts or like mucking around backyard shorts, which is not really Massonomics purpose. But then I also, that was too. It was on sale. That one lift shirt that I got you for Christmas one year. And it was the tank top.
The punk one, yeah.
So, and it's not a very low one. It's not like a stringer like you like, but it looks very good on you.
Thank
Very
you.
good shirt on you. And who was the one who made the other shirts? The two colors.
Oh, so Dodds gave me
yeah.
those. He won
Oh, yeah.
those in a competition, but then he outgrew them. I believe that was Mary's mom that made those.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Because I know those aren't like official.
Yeah,
but they look so good.
Yeah, those are good shirts.
They look nice.
Dodds eyed me and was like, "Those are for you now," and he brought them to the Lift Hard, Live Easy.
Yeah.
No, those ones are good. All right, those are my 4.
All right, Jen.
Yeah. I think so. The one Morgan's wearing, obviously, I mean, the lifting department, number 1. For Dammy's, I have to say he has a green, like an army green hoodie that I stole from him when he first got it. And I forget, it just has like the regular Massonomics like logos on it. It might even have like a skull on it or something. And I wore it and I spilled coffee all down it. And I was like, well, I guess this is mine now. And he's like, dude, are you serious? I just ordered that. And I was like, oh, let's see. Sorry. So, and that was the most comfortable hoodie ever. I still wear it from time to time. I have to give it out. The golf shirt, the freaking collared golf shirt. Chris wears it to work. And I'm like, oh my God, you look official. Okay, sexy. All right. And I have to say, you know what? I'm going to throw it out. I'm not going to do an apparel item. I'm going to say the drink spotter because that thing is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Chris has multiple of them downstairs and I go downstairs and they fit everything. I'm like, this is actually genius. This is genius. So I think those are my 4. I have a t-shirt. Yeah, I have a t-shirt, golf shirt, hoodie, and drink spotter.
Good call.
I can't believe I didn't say the jorts. Should have said the jorts.
Oh, and the jorts. I know the jorts. There's too many.
Oh, that's one thing Keith doesn't have, and I'm not sure that they're ever going to grace our household. Those jorts.
My ass isn't fitting in any kind of.
Neither is mine. So
no silkies or jorts for Keith. He's made that very clear.
But I do love this sweatshirt. Oh yeah,
nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, come on. This is not that kind of podcast. Steph, what's your 4?
It's only Thursday.
Oh man, I do love this sweatshirt. I think I actually stole Keith's and he got fed up, so that's how I got my own. So that always works out nice for me.
Oh no, the one you're wearing, that's I bought you that one specifically, and I actually got enough. Tron still hates me over it because we got in a big fight. That he thought he could. Tron thought he could. Fit into a large, but
sorry, Tron.
Not because the hoodies run a little small like everything else.
Well, it went to a good home. I wear it all the time. So
she does. She literally like 8 days a week, if that was a thing.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I enjoy the green nice rack shirt because it's funny. I get lots of comments on it.
She wins
and
that
it's
one.
nice and soft. Yes. Um, but as far as Keith's apparel, I like him in anything black. So there's quite a few of the black ones that, let's see, there's
It's too many.
the
all of
record
them.
one
Oh
that
my
just came
God.
out. That one's nice and soft in
That
the
one's a
skin.
fun one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I do enjoy the many, many drink spotters that we have downstairs.
Yeah.
I've also used them myself because he'll leave the ammonia bottles out and then I get worried that the cats are going to sniff them. So
Yep.
Oh,
I
yes.
Always
use them
hiding
to
my
tidy
ammonia-
up.
She hides my ammonia bottles all the time.
So I have to
But
tell them it's on this
it's al-
rack in this drink spotter.
Well, no, it's always like right when I'm ready
Right.
to take my third attempt, like my last heavy lift, and I'm like, all right, where's my ammonia? And I'm like, it
I
takes
don't
me
wanna
fucking
kill the
8 minutes
cat,
to
so-
find it. No, I get it. It's just,
But yes.
He leaves his up here sometimes
yeah.
on top of our
Oh,
pantry.
yeah. Oh my God.
And then every once in a while, I'll if somebody slams it shut like a child, and then he's like just clacks and hits the floor, and I'm just like, oh my God. If this busts open, if one of the
No.
kids find it, because they are
Mhm.
both
It's
very
not
good
tea.
at unscrewing things. No.
Yeah, it's right. No, absolutely not. Dammy's tried to trick me into smelling one of those one time, and I'm like, get the
Oof.
hell out of here. I'm not that dumb. I'm
No.
not
He's
that dumb. Get
resisted
that
for a
shit away
while,
from me.
but now he's into
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So
Took me
Yeah.
2 years
Not
to
sure
get
why.
someone.
Joey
Yeah.
passed me once, and he said, "Hey, what does this smell like?"
Yeah.
And he had one of those
No.
little capsules right there. And he's like,
That
"What
was
did
so
you think
mean.
it would have been?" And I'm like, "Anything else."
So mean.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was
Anything.
awful of me.
So
She starts the
mean.
divorce papers.
I'm
Yeah.
half expecting
Yeah.
it to be a fart, but like, no.
Do you smell popcorn? Yeah.
Do you smell this popcorn? Or like he gets so many different beard oils, or like this or that. But like, hey,
Yeah.
what does this smell like? And then I'm just like, and I was irate. I saw red for a while.
Yeah,
Oh,
she went full in too. She didn't even be like she was like,
Oh,
I was like, what does this smell like? And she
like a
really
science smell.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Watching it.
love and trust.
Yeah, that's your
Nope.
first mistake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So one day Morgan, I think, posted it either on Instagram or Facebook or something. It was a really funny thing that said like, it was something along the lines of part of having a husband who lifts is hearing him yell, "Yeah, buddy," and the sound of 400 pounds hitting the floor.
Instagram, yeah.
That's the noise I hear.
Yeah, least fun, most
Yep.
fun, having a husband that lifts. Whether it's in the basement or, going to the gym or something like that. Like, what is the least fun, most fun part of that?
That rock hard body.
The muscles.
She did compliment me on my leaning out body yesterday.
Yes. Great.
It's accurate.
It's noisy at random hours,
Yeah.
but
And his gym is loud. Like
yes,
It is. When we were there, and I remember you commenting on
Echoes.
that too.
yes.
Well, she has
There's
nice
no
Bose
secrets down there. I can
headphones.
hear everything.
Mhm. I tried to add a second speaker and she told me I couldn't. Because
No,
I was gonna pair them on each side of the gym and she was like, "No, you can't do that. The whole house will rock."
Why?
Yeah.
I try to prioritize training when she's like at church or not home, but
Jen, least fun, most fun, having a husband that lifts.
Yeah, I mean, most fun is, meeting all you guys, right? And seeing all you guys and having that community and kind of being a part of it. I guess, muscles are great too. We love muscles. Least fun, I'd have to say least fun would probably be, all the noises he makes. Also, it costs a lot of freaking money.
It's so expensive.
Dude, things just show up at my front door. Like the other day, there was just a barbell out front, and I'm like, Dammys, how in the actual fuck do you plan on getting me to leave it till I get home? Leave it. Someone's going to steal it.
No, they're not.
What is that?
They're weak.
I don't know. Like, they're weak, right? They can't live that. But we have plans of a whole garage going in our backyard. We have a whole pole barn going in.
Nice.
We're getting our land surveyed for it. This Massonomics thing has really gotten out of control financially because the plans have been set in place. Like it has definitely kickstarted a lot of plans.
Oil tank anymore?
Right? Yeah, next to our oil tank, which is absolutely atrocious.
He's got a couple flags up on it now.
Yeah, he's got some banners to cover it. No big deal.
Morgan?
so I think the most fun for lifting in general, not just Massonomics, is your obsession with rocks. Because guarantee any time we're out in the car, there's a lot of rocks over there. That's a lot of rocks. Like we could be lifting those rocks right now. And I'm like, we could be. If he at any point stopped at the side of the road and was like, we're gonna go lift some rocks right now, I'd be like, finally. all we have to worry about is some trespassing charges. That is the worst that we're gonna have to deal with, is some trespassing charges, and maybe one of us has to stay in the car if there's a kid in the car, but like otherwise, like, no, just go lift the rocks. So that's a fun thing, and I really enjoy that. The least fun would probably be the noises, or not as much anymore, but the extent of time that you used to spend in the gym.
Yeah, but when I used to warm up like a sucker. Yeah.
When you used to warm up like a weakling, or like a little
Put it lightly.
But it could be like upwards of 3 hours, I swear, down the basement. Yeah. And it's just like between that and you being at work or something else, and it'd be like, I don't see you anymore. Mm-hmm. So that was not fun, but that has luckily.
Oh yeah, skipping warm up knocks like a half an hour to 45 minutes off of every workout.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You just like
yeah.
Big shout out
upstairs and I'm like, you're done?
Yeah, 45 minutes, 50 minutes max. Thank you, Sam. My conditioning sucks because like I should be warming up. I'm 40. So, I do a really heavy deadlift session. Now I'm out for 2 days, but at the same time, I took an hour back from my day. Like I'll limp around for a bit. Thank you. Good answer.
Can I give a more serious answer to the best part?
Please.
Just that it's given us commonality, something that's in common, a hobby that we both enjoy. I think sometimes our 16-year wedding anniversary is tomorrow, and sometimes we've struggled finding. Thank you. But over those years, we've kind of sometimes struggled finding things that we both enjoy at the same time, same point in our lives. So now that he's really hardcore full on into everything lifting, it's been kind of fun to have something to do together.
It's been.
Yeah.
All right. No, that's a really good answer. And it's funny you bring that up because that was something that Big Jess Sesney, who will be on later this month, wanted to talk about. Do you feel any obligation to lift? And would you register for the Picard Live Easy?
100%. And I feel obligation to be stronger than Damager.
Oh, good luck.
I want to kick his ass.
Do it. Okay? Do it, please.
Kick his ass. Because he just gets on my nerves and I'm like, oh, shit, he's stronger than me. So you know what? Here I go in the gym. Here I go. I'm like, I'm a deadlift better than this motherfucker. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Just to piss him off.
No offense, but Dammy is a strong dude. Like,
she can do it.
He's a little strong.
I think she can
do it.
Thank you, Morgan. I knew I always liked you for a reason. Okay, stop it.
You got this.
Yeah.
You're going to make him look small.
Now,
fucking weakling.
Okay, Steph and Morgan, same answer.
I've never felt inclined to lift.
Good for you. Good for you.
I have started lifting.
So there's the big news. She told me not to tell you guys, but
yay! Awesome.
I started going to the gym. It's been rough getting down there because shit's been hitting the fan like a crazy thing lately. But I used to love going to the gym, not necessarily for lifting, but just being able to move my body and lift some things, but not necessarily for the purpose of I need to get very strong. I don't feel any inclination that I need to be as strong as Joey or even a proportion of that. Like I would like to be stronger than I am, but I've never felt the pressure that I needed to lift. The Massonomics community has also always seemed not necessarily dependent on lifting. From what all the fun and things that I used to hear about were always not lifting related necessarily. Everyone was there while people are lifting and lifting people up for that. But and there's
lifting's like just a byproduct of the community, but it's not necessarily the sole focus.
Yeah. Like we're like, it's like I'll give you 100 stories about what we did and then go, oh, then we just lifted some weights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Like the
right, right.
lifting the weights is the yada yada yada. Like
Yeah, I don't think I
you,
ever
Yeah,
like. Yeah,
secondary
I don't.
for sure.
I don't lead the story about
Yeah.
Lift Hard Live Easy Classic in Aberdeen about like these were my numbers and this. It was just like
exactly.
it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, right,
it's like
These are
right,
these
30
guys'
different
numbers.
stories.
Yeah.
right.
It's like, did you fucking see the mosquitoes? You know, that's mainly.
Right. Did you taste the chicken parm this year? It was
Oh, fuck off.
terrible.
Fuck you. That's good. You got me.
I have to say it was really good that first year.
I know,
I
right?
do,
And the
yes.
fucking pizza we had. We had
Yes,
pizza and chicken
yes.
parm and we split it. It was fucking
Yeah.
amazing. And then we went back this year and it was garbage. I was so
Ah,
pissed.
I'm
Because
gonna
I
get-
wasn't
Like an
there.
asshole.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
was.
There you
It's because Steph wasn't there. It's
Or
the
maybe it
truth.
tasted so good because you were there the first year. I don't
go. Aw,
Aw.
happy anniversary.
Yes, you say that.
Aw.
know.
Steph, same
Um,
answer. Do you feel inclined to get down there with them at any time?
So Keith is very supportive of that, but I think I put more pressure on myself because I was hardcore into working out. I would work out 3 to 5 hours a day before my surgery, and I just haven't been able to get back to it since. So it's sometimes hard for me watching
Mhm.
him at meets because I want to do it, and then it gets frustrating for me, and I just feel like the lump in the stands that people think, oh, she doesn't do anything. She's just sits upstairs eating her Cheetos while we're downstairs lifting. But I wish I
Screw
could.
everyone
I
out.
would love to just go down there but I've literally hurt myself on 1 pound weight. So I get frustrated. I have to stop. And then it's kind of a vicious cycle of, is it worth my mental
Mhm.
health to keep trying? But I would love to, more than anything in the world, get back into it. Like I said before, I did an event at the Arnold. I did powerlifting meets. I ran a
So
half
cool.
marathon. I was into
is
my
cool.
Zumba classes, and yeah.
We
So
we
I'm
know
in a more supportive
literally
role.
we know literally none of that about you. So I'm really cool that that's out there. That you
Yeah,
know,
that's awesome.
I've said it on the podcast multiple times.
see
If
he's
Yeah, I knew
anyone-
that you lifted before,
Yeah.
Steph. I knew
I've
that you
listened to a
lifted,
lot of these
but-
episodes, and I'm not sure, but
Okay,
called
well,
out.
If
Also,
anyone has
like-
heard of
A lot
a,
of- not all of
lovely,
not
lovely
really all.
event called the Pump and Run at the Arnold, I did that. It's as fun as it
Aw.
sounds.
That's so fucking cool.
awesome.
So like yeah, like none of us have competed at the Arnold. That's awesome.
Well,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
one of those anyone can sign up, but it was cool.
it doesn't matter. You still did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
you
did.
still did it. Numbers don't count. You did it.
But-
right.
Jess,
I think
I would
I-
love
I
to be
think-
there with you.
I think too, like Massonomics for me too, like just watching Damies want to do better and watching you guys want to do better has it really honestly to me like, yeah, do I want to beat Damies? Absolutely. But it makes me want to just be a healthier person and it makes me want to be a stronger person. Strong to me, and especially in women these days, is so sexy. I think it's sexy and I think it's awesome. And I think like we just kind of need to embrace that. And it kind of just makes me want to embrace it. So like, thanks to the crew for like helping to like, you know, motivate me a little bit and just want to be stronger in general. Like I just strive to be healthy. So, you know, that's
Yep.
kind of
And-
how crew just makes me feel.
And the funny thing, like unfortunately for Morgan, is I am technically her coach. So you know you're my
Yeah, good
wife,
luck with
and
that.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
right.
at the same time,
That ended real fast with us.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
that's
we
really
went down
why
that.
I bring it
I'm
up
like,
is like
It's
she'll do a
slowly
deadlift.
ending at the moment, but
She'll do a deadlift and I'll be like, no, you had more in you, go heavier. And she's like, no. And I was like, no, that was too easy. Like you need more. Or then like today when we went to Booster Juice, right? And I was like, she's like, oh, I don't want a Booster Juice is a smoothie bar.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
she ordered her smoothie and I was like, put the creatine in. And she was like, I don't. And I was, did you take a creatine today? And she's like, no. I was like, I had it when I got up. You're going to have it now. Like I'm not. It's interesting that I'm not that type of person. Like people think that learning to drive from me is difficult, but no, I literally teach people to be better at my job every day. So I actually am a decent kind of life coach and in that sense.
Motivator. for
But at
sure.
the same time, us being in the gym at the same time means there's nobody watching the kids. So now I just send her workouts, but I don't send her numbers. I just say, do these movements. And she's doing really well. And I don't get to talk about it publicly because she asked me not to. So
I don't want to feel
Oh, okay.
the pressure to go down because
Yeah.
it's taken so long to get down there, and I'm worried that if everyone starts getting a bit too excited, I'm gonna not want to do it
Do
anymore.
your own pace. Don't
Right.
push it.
Yeah.
Just go your
So-
own pace,
Yeah.
right?
So right now the goal is to get there,
Just move your
And-
body.
and
Just
then
move your
eventually
body,
it's going to
girl.
be a little bit more PR based and a little bit more like that.
100%.
But We're gonna
Just
work
do what
on that.
feels right for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Keith, do you have any a second least fun, most fun?
I do, but I got one question first, and then
Please.
I don't know how you want to bring it in after that, but I would yes. What was it? Fuck. As far as I know Stephanie doesn't listen to the Mathematics podcast. Either of you guys, and if you don't listen to the podcast, they definitely put a ton of money and time into the YouTube content. I know I watch all the YouTube content on my big TV, so Stephanie gets to consume it as a byproduct of me consuming it. So, do you guys watch any of the YouTube just via the your spouse watching it?
Once. I don't even
Yeah,
know what it
once.
was.
I was in it. That's why
Yeah.
you watched it. Because I put it on the screen so the kids could see it.
Oh, that was different though. No, I mean like one of their regular YouTube ones,
Oh.
not like a recap ones. But you
Okay.
were.
Yeah.
I forget why you were watching it. I have no idea what it was about. It was not recent. But
Morgan
it was-
Morgan got to hear part of the party cast today.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that's where you're at. Oh yeah, we had to do our weekly Joey update on the backlog. Your
Yeah,
party
he was on
cast
part 2.
there.
Part 2 of the party
That was
cast.
such bad audio. It was the fucking worst. And that's why you made the reference in our chat today. Because like, how do you even know what that is other than like kind of sort of knowing about it through the Discord? But I got you. It was a horrible fucking episode.
I can't wait till it's over.
I think watching them together would be a great thing. I enjoy the clips that I've seen, but he's on it the second that they drop. So I'm like, well, I was at work, so guess you already watched it without me.
You watch it. There's a fair amount of them that I'm watching when you get home, but
No, it's
they
time
always-
to.
when
You're
they-
just gonna have
when
to
they-
save it now.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he
half
will
the time
not.
they,
Yeah,
No.
it's
they
couples
drop
night.
at 4 o'clock on Thursday, and we gotta freaking watch I gotta have it all consumed by the time we podcast. All right, so that was probably my last one, and then we can at least the last thing I'll get into here is one more least fun, most fun. Probably won't be for you as much, Jen, but for Stephanie and Morgan, least fun, most fun. Having a husband that co-host a weekly podcast about nothing. Least fun, most fun.
It is so freaking hard to explain. One of my jobs right now, I work with a couple of girls who love listening to podcasts, and one of them actually listens to fitness podcasts. And when I was like, oh yeah, my husband just doing a podcast, she got all excited and was gonna go off and look for it and was like, what's it about? And I'm like, so that was an awkward conversation. But it's a podcast about another podcast about, I don't really know what, it's the Seinfeld of podcasts. And she's like, okay, well then I guess I'm not going to listen.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. But so it's always a little awkward to try to explain. So that's the hardest part for me. But I think it's pretty cool. The best part is just seeing him grow into it, I guess. I did listen to the first episode, and I do hear a lot on, his side of things through the walls. And I do know that he's come leaps and bounds from those first couple of episodes. Even just watching him prepare, he's a lot more confident now going into it, and he just has his routine and he can go through it and prep himself. Whereas he was much more anxious the first little bit. So it's definitely helped him in his day-to-day life just be more confident and like I had talked about before, walk up to people and just be more social and just put himself out there. So I appreciate everyone who gives him the support through it and listens. And even though his own wife doesn't really listen, but I appreciate it. And you're helping him grow into being a better person and human being. And yeah, thank you all. So
he is well loved. And I think that the real turning point for Keith was when he plugged in his microphone.
I do remember that.
Pissed me off. I got her microphone hooked up tonight. So
That was
have
so
one.
funny. Oh my god.
He was so mad. I tell you, like Nate joined. He didn't even stay. I don't think he stayed for the podcast. He was like, he just jumped on and he's like, okay, guys, I think, yeah, he's like, I just need to do this. Joey, tilt your microphone here. And then the sound, like, I had it like this, and then I did this. And he was like, yeah. And then I was like, shit, that was way better. And he goes, Keith, just go into your settings and just hit use external. And then Keith went from sounding like this to like sounding like this. And Keith was like, as Ryan's impression that we all like just a string of swear words.
As he does, yes.
As he does, yep. Morgan?
Oh, least fun, most fun?
having a husband that hosts a weekly podcast that goes until 11:30 most nights.
I mean, luckily, like I watch anime while he's doing it, so I get some uninterrupted TV time when he's doing the podcast. That's not the most fun.
I can't
part,
stand
though.
anime, so it's like if I come in the room, she's like, "Okay, it's off." I just can't stand it.
It's been
It's
really, really shonen style stuff, and I know only a handful of people are going to understand what that is, but it's a lot of really random screaming, lots of action. But the most fun is going to be just when I do get to listen. I don't listen all the time. I usually can tell how much fun the episode is going to be because I can hear everybody laughing. Like I can hear the laughter through the door, and I'm like, all right, it's going to be a good episode. I'm going to listen. And then sometimes there's not as much laughter, and that's not necessarily because it's probably less funny or less engaging. It's just how I factor in when I listen. And that's the most fun. It's I can tell when it's a good episode, and I can tell how much everything is just going well. The least fun, I don't really know. Sometimes the prep work for it. I know sometimes like you struggle a bit with that, but that like then you get to it and it doesn't even matter anymore because everything is fine.
everything is fine.
Everything's fine.
Okay, yeah, and I know that the joke for a long time was Keith does all the prep work. That's not necessarily true. Keith will move all the notes and send the questionnaire, but then I'm the guy that like every Thursday will turn to my wife and be like, I need an hour away from all of you, and then I will go and like edit all of the notes and move them into areas and remove the dumb shit that the friends put in that think the inside jokes.
Ask him about his little dick.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell him his nickname is Dick Gobbler. Like, fuck, no, I'm not doing that.
Politics.
And ask him about the president. Like, no, I'm not doing that. And there's always anxiety leading into it because it's always like, I don't know this person. Am I going to do well on this one? Are they going to do well? Blah, blah, blah. And then I come out and I was like, that was fuck great. Like every week, it's the same. Going into it, I'm not sure. Coming out of it, I was like, that was awesome. Right? I've never had an episode, maybe one or two. Where
I'm not going to say every week, but I would say 99% of our episodes, I had a blast, and less than 1%. I was like,
yeah, there's always the time. I think there's
less than 5%.
Not going to name names, but there's times I come out and I just go, I don't know about that one, man. And like,
get it.
But then it just goes, yeah. But it's
that's the most fun, least fun part. And a lot of that is just because that's what I hear from you. And also explaining it to other people is difficult.
Yeah, just don't. When somebody's like, what's your podcast about? I literally go, don't.
Like, it's about two guys in the Midwest.
My target audience is 500 people. Don't. You're not listening to it.
Right.
I still look at it as like, it's not a podcast about another podcast. It's about a other podcast community. It has really nothing to do with their podcast necessarily.
Yeah.
It's us bringing our community together. So when we all meet up in person, there's literally 80 fucking episodes you can go listen to know 60 of these people are going to be there because the people that have been on our podcast are mostly going to still travel to these events. It's literally the only reason we're still here because it's fun.
There's been a few
I'll
episodes.
explain that way.
There's been a few episodes that bring people in. And then they listen to it. It's like series episode was big. I think there was another one that just brought outsiders in, and then they're just like, I have no clue what you guys are talking about. And I'm like, don't. You're not gonna get the references. You're not gonna get.
You're not gonna get it.
Yeah.
My buddy Brandon was like, "You guys don't talk about lifting very much," and I'm like, "Yeah, no." But he's like,
"That's the point."
I talked to him like 6 months later, and he's like,
we won't. Right.
But he has listened to like 4 or 5 of our episodes because there's been people that he's met at my gym or knows on Instagram, like that's via me through Massonomics and stuff. So he listened to their episodes, but he doesn't really listen to Massonomics. So it's like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I have 2 more questions, and then I think we can see if you guys have questions for us. And if not, that's also okay. My first question, what's the ratio of laughs to eye rolls when we make lifting jokes or puns?
I never understand any of Keith's jokes, so.
No.
Keith makes jokes?
He puns everything that can be punned and stuff that don't make any sense. He still makes a pun on them,
and it's always a dick pun.
Not always. Well, with you maybe.
No, that's another running joke we have. He's a lot of dick jokes here.
I feel
Okay.
like I laughed at a lot of the jokes at first, but now I roll my eyes because a lot of them are like repeat jokes, and I'm like, okay, you guys are beating a dead horse at this point. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's
You know what I
callback.
mean? Like,
Callbacks are fucking.
but you guys still find it so funny, and you all just laugh together, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. I love that. Like, but Chris will just be giggling, and I'm like, you're still laughing at that? Like that joke? Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm
I
just
agree.
the wife, okay? I'm just
Yep.
the wife.
I'm just a wife. What is this? Yeah.
That needs to,
What is
I
this,
actually,
right?
I'm going to challenge if Mad Cow, if you're listening to this, make an AI song about Massonomics crew wives.
Yeah.
Was he the one who made it about me and the cats?
I think I did
Who
that.
made that song?
I
Shout
did
out
that
to
one.
whoever that was.
I
That was
wanna-
fantastic. That made my day.
I want like a crew member wives shirt. I wanted to make one for Lift Harder
Yes.
BB.
So I've been talking about that to Tanner and Tommy pretty much for like 2 years. And I just think it's too
excuse
niche.
me, I'd like to take
Yeah.
this moment to claim the supporting members, like members supporting me, whatever, because I was the very first one to request Tommy and Tanner do a birthday shout out to Daminger on their freaking podcast for his birthday, because his birthday's on Christmas, and like no one ever says happy birthday to him because
It's the worst.
fucking
Oh, the,
Christmas. Yes.
The relatively new segment that they do over there of supporting members. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. I've
Yes.
tried to carry
Yeah.
that. It's anyone that I'm friends with on Facebook, or if I see it through Instagram, like I'm always trying to share crews' birthdays on our Instagram,
Yeah.
because I feel like that
Yeah.
little shout out, like, I don't know, that would make my fucking day if I got shouted out on like my friend's Instagram that was, about a podcast.
Right.
Morgan actually did that for Father's Day. She drew a picture of me holding our son, and Tanner posted it and said happy Father's Day to all the crew fathers.
I love
Yeah.
that.
It was
love that.
I sent it to it, like I said, hey, I'm not sure if you have anything planned for Father's Day, but I drew something for Joey, and it's like Massonomics-ish, because I made sure that they were both wearing Massonomic shirts. And you can post it. It doesn't necessarily have to say for Joey or for anybody in particular, because I knew you'd see it.
Mhm.
I knew you'd see it pretty probably high up on your feed at the time. And you would have recognized it immediately. But it was Oren was playing with something, and Joey was just giving him a quick kiss on the forehead, and it was
No.
one of my favorite pics.
I
So
love that.
yeah. And he's like, of course.
Yeah.
Please. I'm like,
They've always been really good about supporting you crew members for sure.
Absolutely.
And I'm claiming it. I was the first one to ever request a supporting member shout out, whatever. It was my idea. Tommy and
Mhm.
Tanner, we can have a call about it. I don't care.
They interested.
Contact my people.
Side note: they started supporting the supporting crew members the week after my birthday, and I think that was probably Dammy's birthday. To be honest with you, they're like, "We're going to start this new segment. Happy birthday to Dammy!" And I was like,
Yep.
I was literally last week
because Dams was
right?
so obsessed with Tommy and Tanner at the time. I'm like, oh my God, what do you get the man who shares a birthday with Jesus? You can't get the kid anything, okay? You can't get the kid
there's
anything.
nothing
So I'm
he
like,
can get.
listen,
this is
There's
for your
nothing.
birthday
So-
plus Christmas. You know, here you go.
right.
It's all mashed together
Right.
in there. You're
Merry
fine.
birthday.
You guys are basically celebrities to him. So here, say happy birthday to him. And I don't tell him. Don't tell him, just do it. And he did. He listened that night because he's religious on listening to the recording. And I was like, he said it, and he came in and he's like, he said happy birthday to me. And I'm like, I know. Good job,
That's awesome.
babe.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Dammy.
What a
Yeah.
good wife.
Easiest birthday present
That's
ever.
sweet.
Yeah, I try. And then I never gave him anything again. So blessings to do. No, I'm kidding.
Just shit, right?
That was it. I
Yep.
won.
right.
Just peak at some point.
Just
and
a
then you're
bad
like-
attitude.
You
You're like,
peak and then you just coast.
Just go play that podcast episode again, fucker. Gift that keeps on giving.
That's actually it. I think my second question I'm not going to bother with. Keith, what do you want to get into?
I think you told it last week, but I want to hear Morgan's perspective of the Arnold bathroom and her experience with her son.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh no.
Like, I think I heard Joey briefly touch on it, and I like instantly put it onto the show notes for the following week. So I don't remember if we got the full story last week or not, but if we did, it was just from Joey's perspective. So I want to hear the mom's perspective.
I
on what she
literally-
observed.
I
Yeah,
literally
we just
told
told
this
somebody
story
that
today.
earlier. Yep.
Excuse me. So essentially, Oren was still in pull-ups at the time. his pull-up was just soaked. So we go into the washrooms. The women's, luckily, probably not as scary as the men's. And like, I'm just talking him through getting his pull-up on and, 1 foot, 2 foot. And then as I go to wash my hands and get rid of this giant thing of pee, and there is a custodian there, and she's just like, "You're just doing such a wonderful job, and you were talking to him so sweetly, and I just want, like, you're doing great. You're doing a great job." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much." And I turn around, and he had booked it to the very end of the stalls and was licking the walls.
At the Arnold
At the
bathroom.
Arnold, yeah.
On a Sunday. So it wasn't the first day. It wasn't the second day. It was the last day when you know that anything that could have been compounded onto those walls from all that flushing going on in Arnold bathrooms, he was just, licking it up. Like
and that was after the pile driver.
It was after the pile driver. Yep.
Yeah. Oren decided he was going to be jumping from bed to bed or the ottoman to the bed or something.
He
Yeah.
landed on your junk, didn't
he? He fell and smashed his face on the concrete floor of the hotel and impacted a tooth.
I tried to catch him
in Columbus, Ohio, on a Saturday, which obviously nothing's open. And
it wasn't even Saturday. So it was Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was on the phone with who knows who, right? Like I was on like with telehealth for Ontario, and they're like, "Where are you?" And then I was desperately searching for emergency dental offices in Ohio, Columbus. And I'm like, I don't even know how I'm going to afford this. I don't know what kind of insurance is going to go on here. And I called so many that Saturday morning because I knew that I had that Saturday to go look around, and nothing was open. I'm like, it says emergency dental services open 24/7 or 7 days a week. Nothing was open.
Yeah.
So finally we were able to get a hold of our dentists in Ontario, and they said, like, they gave me a quick lowdown and everything was okay. And he ate lots of ice cream.
Yeah. Actually, the one person I did get I phoned two people that night. I phoned my mom and I phoned our friend Morgan, who actually passed away last week. So that was that's just probably not even worth sharing on the podcast, but it's just like, I think I mentioned it to Keith earlier this week that like I lost a really good friend, and that's actually just a good example of how good of a friend she was. When my child was hurt, she was one of the two people I phoned.
Yeah. Right. And she pretty much told us to stop making such a big fuss. It happens. If the tooth falls out, it falls out, like.
Yep.
Like, he's going to look like a jack-o'-lantern on his first day of kindergarten. Such mom guilt going on.
That's so cool at Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah. It came out fine. By the time he was in school, it was pretty much completely grown back out. Like, he's fine now. Like, everything was fine. Everything is fine.
Yep. So, everything is fine.
So yeah, that was the Arnold bathroom in Ohio experience for me. The custodian thought it was hilarious, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was so yeah, like so.
As soon as she heard
giving
me,
all the mom props,
yeah, she was giving me all these mom props, and I'm just like, stop licking the wall. And I swear, she was rolling on the floor.
That's what I wanted to hear. That makes me
like,
so
oh,
happy.
Such a good mom. No, never mind.
Nope. He's a wall licker.
That
like a good bathroom story here.
2 seconds.
Oh yeah, that's our bathroom story because poop stories are weird.
Yeah.
Do you want to do any unpaid or underrated, or should we?
I think we honestly hit on all. The only I mean, you guys have all met a fair amount of crew. How many crew have been to your house? I know Morgan. It sounds like 2, maybe 3 if you count Joey.
It would be Steve and the person who I dressed up as Joey for.
I want to say Caden.
I want to say I will not remember.
We did just have a Caden that talked a lot on Instagram. Yep. I haven't seen a Caden talk in a long time. What about has any crew ever been to your house, Jen?
Yeah, Eddie has. Eddie's been to our house, and they recorded a video downstairs, and I'm just upstairs staring at the wall like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? And they just recorded a video downstairs. Yeah. So Eddie's been to our house. So one crew member. Yeah, Eddie's definitely been there. He gets around, that Eddie.
He does.
Eddie, yes.
Yeah,
he was the first person I met, I think.
Yeah, we met Eddie at our house a long time ago. How many do you think you've met over the years, Steph?
All of them.
Well, at our house,
Yeah.
what did we
Oh,
say
yeah,
the
sorry,
other day?
that was.
Eight,
Yeah,
I
I think it was
think, or
about 8.
so.
We had to go through. I went through and kind of counted with her, and I was like, I
We
think it's either
counted and
7 or 8.
recounted, and then we lost
A
count,
lot.
and then we recounted again, and this
Right.
is how I fell asleep yesterday.
That's
So
when
I
it
was
gets to be too many. You're like, just too
Yeah.
many.
I was trying to like get an actual number for how many crews she's met, but it lived hardly easy one. It's like, okay, well, this person was here, but did you talk to him? If you didn't talk to him, did you meet him, kind of thing? So the number was anywhere from like 30 to 50 based on, if just being in the presence counts.
It's
But,
confusing because some people I recognize their faces, but have no
Yeah.
idea, can never remember what the names are. Some people I would recognize their Instagram handle, but have no idea what their
I was
real
gonna say,
name
I
is.
knew people. Yeah, I knew people by their
It's
Instagram
so
handles. I'm
confusing.
like, oh,
Yeah.
you're so and so. Yeah. Yep.
Like, that's not my actual name, but okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. But
I think that really most of the questions that we had for you guys. If there's any crew questions we didn't get to you, so I know you guys, a lot of you submitted, but a lot of them kind of overlapped or we talked about it already. So I know mostly Squats had one, but it was kind of fell in line with a lot of the other ones. So feel free to be mad at me in the Discord that I didn't ask your question for week 69 in a row, buddy. And do you ladies have anything for Joey and I? Anything you wanted? Any tidbits or any questions or anything?
I have a question.
I think like,
What you got?
go ahead, Steph.
Oh, sorry. This is hard. I'm sorry I keep interrupting people. If you guys had to do it all over again from the very beginning, is there anything that you would do differently or anything that you regret along that line?
If I had to, like, Massonomics wise or lifting wise, like, what is it?
Either or, but
Uh,
mostly podcast wise, hosting the
I'm taking it
podcast.
as I'm taking it as unpaid.
Yeah. Okay. So doing unpaid and underrated, I would have started sooner. And so I might be a little hazy on the details, but I'm fairly certain we started talking about this I want to say it was me and Keith that started. It was one of us or somebody just brought the idea out. And I was either me or Keith. And then it went away. And then we started talking again. And then I think I was finally the one that I just sent a message to Tanner and I was like, I'm doing this. Get an event, like put an event together to make everybody show up for a call. I'm doing this. And whoever wants to be part of it should join this call. And Keith was there. And I think Scance was there. Like we have our founding fathers. And then we introduced Big Jen into that group as well. I would have stopped somebody should do this. And I would have done it myself. Because that way I'd be better now than I was, right? Lifting wise, I would have followed a program sooner instead of trying to max out every 2 weeks and tiring myself out by the time I'm 40. I would have started, but at the same time, I don't know what I didn't know, right?
Right.
So I definitely that one because I'm not going to take all of the credit, but it was essentially me just going, we're fucking doing this. Like, stop talking about it. Stop dillying down. Morgan probably heard me waffle about it for
I remember
6
Keith
months.
waffling.
A
Like,
long
should I do
time.
this? Do you think it's a good idea?
Yeah.
I need to do
Oh,
this.
it's a
I
huge
should do
fucking
this. Should I do
commitment.
this? I
Yeah.
can't do this. I don't want
Sounds scary to me, but go for it.
Okay.
And that's what it was.
Just do it.
Like, it should be done, but by somebody better than me. And
yeah, like I can't do it. Like,
Mhm.
yes, you can. Just go do it. And
Yeah.
then I
Look
heard
what
that
it's
Keith
grown
was
into.
being like
Yep.
really like, no, I
Yeah.
really want to do this. I really want to do this. And then I'm just like, there you go. Go do it.
Yep.
Fly, little ones.
You have your partner. And now I
Uh,
talk to Keith more than I talk to pretty much anybody.
You talk to me a lot still.
Yeah.
You do
Mhm.
talk to me a lot.
Well, thank you guys for sticking together. I know that's probably not always been easy to be in that much contact constantly and not be able to take a break from
Yeah.
each other, but
I
I know
actually have no
everyone
problems.
appreciates it.
I have zero problems with it. It is never not easy. Keith is
He's a
a-
peach.
he's somebody that I'm glad I made friends with. Like I'm not going to
Oh,
turn this
that's
into
nice.
a pump in Keith's tires thing, but like
Well, I can
Oh.
confirm that. Like I hear Joey complaining about everything and anything that he's ever complained about Keith are just like your standard friend things that you would ever
No, no,
nothing
same. Yeah.
yeah, nothing ever that could ever make any impact on it. Like no. He's never once said the words, I don't like talking to this guy.
and
That's
and
the
good.
podcasting's the easy part.
Yeah.
I say that a lot. I don't want to talk to this person anymore. They're annoying me.
Like,
Never said it about Keith.
Can they stop messaging me? Like, can they just not? Like, no, that's never been about Keith. Like,
how about you, buddy?
What was he specifically the pod? Okay, so
turning on your mic
about the pod. Yeah. Of the same vein, being better earlier, I guess. I regret that we had some of our like closest crew friends on in the first 10 episodes when I sucked at podcasting and we weren't very good at it. We weren't good at interviewing people necessarily.
Yeah.
We weren't good at pulling threads out of people that didn't want to talk very much and needed to have that. They needed us to be very comfortable with each other and to pull stuff out of them. And I didn't hit our stride, at least I don't know. I've never gone and listened to our backlog other than when it came out initially, but like 4, 8, 10 episodes, like there definitely were some episodes where I know we weren't great at getting stuff out of people. And I feel bad about that because that's kind of why I'm, bringing up the whole, like, all right, if you guys have a good, if past guests want to be on an episode, bring me an idea, let's do it. Because I feel like I gave you a disservice because your episode was only like an hour and 10 minutes long, and we probably didn't deep dive a lot of stuff that we could on today. If we interviewed today. So that's really my only regret, but I don't know how to really change that.
There's no way to, like, you have to start somewhere, right? And that's what everybody said. Just start. You're not gonna get good until you start. And
I remember Tammy and this is what I called him Tammy. Yes,
Tammy.
That's just easier for me. Tanner and Tommy, one of a piece that I listened to of theirs was that they were reminiscing of how far they've come and that it was hard for them when they first started. So
and having those people on, like, our, the crew is 500 people, but there's always the niche, like the core group of friends, right? Like you're never going to separate me and Keith or me and the Gingers or me and Scants or me and Murph. Like as much as we're 500 friends, we still have that. And what's nice about having those people on in the first couple of episodes is those are the people we trust that when we do suck, they're still going to love us. Right.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why we chose, or that's why those people were the first, is you're going to help us get off our feet and grow our wings,
more comfortable,
essentially. Yeah. So I do like the idea of having some of them back on specifically. That's why the one day where it was like, we weren't sure if I think it was Tyler wasn't going to get on. Who did I message? Jen Daminger, Murph, Scants. We need guests to jump on. Right. And those are the people that I know that, like,
and we all did. All three of us were on there.
Not a single one of you. And I think Murph was like at a family event and was like, I'm going to go walk around.
Yeah, she was like, she wasn't even in DC.
She was in Iowa walking around like a.
Oh, yeah, she was out in the Midwest
or something.
Yep.
Right. And it's.
You tried to get me on it. That one. You're like, you might have to come on.
Yeah, like we just need more people.
You might need to be here, and I'm just like,
Joey gives me massive anxiety. Once a month, he's like, I'm literally on my deathbed. I don't know if I can record tonight. And it's like, and he does it at like 6:30, and I'm like, okay, do I need to get a guest? Do I need to like call Kevin or Nate to see if they'll fill in for a minute? He's like, I'll be fine.
The one night where
he gave me so much anxiety that I have to like do work to get someone else in, and then you'll be fine. I'm like, God damn it, just
you had to like
my mind wants to fix the problem
out
already.
To go puke a lung up. Yeah.
Oh, that was Matt's episode.
Never missed one.
69 episodes. We finally get Matt on, and I'm
about dead that
literally dying. Like I did. I dipped out to throw up.
Because you got hit with that first, and it hit every one of us, and pretty much it was 24
hours. No, that was
hours.
my sinus infection.
Yeah, that was, you got diagnosed.
Oh, yeah. No, I've had those. They suck. They're off.
Yeah. But I mean, if it had to be anybody, I'm glad it was Matt.
I mean, it has been. It's pretty much ever since Orrin licked that bathroom wall, Joey.
Who was it?
He was fine. He was fine afterwards.
Was it Toby that said, I'm going through the backlog. When is the episode of Joey not being sick?
Now that's what's weird. Like, people tell us they're listening to our backlog because we have a fucking, like, I mean, people I've like friends I've known that have started podcasts and like it made it like 12 episodes. Like we're on fucking episode 74, technically 75 if you count the pilot. So like that's fucking crazy.
Backlogs are overrated.
I've heard a few podcasters say, like, once you hit episode 10, you have an idea of if it's a yes or no. So like at the very beginning, like after that first episode, Joey was like, I still don't know. And I'm like, I don't care. Get to episode 10. It doesn't matter. if it's going to be bad, then you can have 10 bad episodes and that doesn't matter.
Mhm.
But like,
Right.
if you get to episode 10 and then you're like, yeah, I want to keep doing this, then keep doing it. Like it's that much. And I think by episode 5, you were like, no, I think we're getting a stride. Like we're getting there. So by episode 10, it was like nothing.
Yep. And that's the Massonomics Wives effect right there. The support and the gentle push when you're doubting yourself, to have people like the three of you behind us to just like give us that little, it's not necessarily your role in our lives altogether, but sometimes that's what, it's what we do for each
Yeah,
other.
but I think that that's the strength of the impact that crew has, and that right there is the perfect example of crew and how the support that comes from that group is it's just monumental. It's gotten you guys so far. Like I remember when you guys started this and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. And then I'm like, oh my God, I hope they keep up with it. And here you are, like you said, 75 episodes in, like, holy shit, like this is crazy. You know what I mean? And like, I think that that's such a prime example of the community that you guys do have. You all support each other and you just make something amazing. Everything always turns out awesome.
Everything is fine.
Mostly like
everything
mostly
is
like
fine.
I just have one more thing I want to do. We're mostly like-minded in the group, so like that's what makes it easy. Like as far as like
Yeah.
we all get what to do in Discord. Like as far as like I'm talking more like the crew itself, because and a lot of people that don't get it weed themselves out, which literally happened today.
Right.
There was, I'm not going to say the name, but the guy that was posting some weird shit the last week or so that was making everyone roll their eyes.
Yeah.
He left the crew today.
Aw.
No,
Yep.
but it was,
You
it's
didn't
kind
even
of
notice. It's fine.
But it was kind of like
Right.
it's only happened a few times, but people that kind of come in and start just like pulling like
No, but that happened in South
commenting very
Dakota.
odd
Big
stuff,
Murph. Yeah,
and then
like Big
see
Murph
themselves
and Big
out.
Jen. I was having breakfast with them, and they were sitting down, and they were in Discord because someone was like posting in there. And you can't pay me to remember the name. And Big Murph is like, "The hell is this kid saying?" Like, and it was like this like thing that came over them. It was like the crew kind of cape,
A
crew cape,
storm
the wings came out, and like crew. I was like, oh shit! Like Big Murph, Big Jen, they're about to throw the hell down. Like you guys do. Like if someone doesn't belong in crew, they get the vibe. They get the vibe, and like good vibes only, people. Good vibes only.
Absolutely. And I don't want to be the type of people at all that's, as I sometimes accuse Keith of being, like, we're not gatekeepers. You want to join us, join us.
Yeah, right. Join us just so we,
Yeah, like the guy that left crew today or whatever, like it sucks. I wish you had just kind of figured out that that's not what we do here, despite us telling you multiple times your political memes aren't welcome. We don't want to hear about how you're stronger than the world's strongest man or whatever that. I know who you're talking about.
Yep.
Right. And it's just like, we don't do that here, man. Like that's not what we do. Please join us with all the other fun stuff. Yep.
I was literally asking Keith last night of if we pay the supporting member fee and you're part of the crew, but I live in the same house, does that make me crew or do I have to pay another?
It's not a Costco membership.
What are the rules? What are the rules?
Yeah, you got it.
I never thought about it. Like, is it like one crew membership per house?
No.
Do I have to
Maybe
pay my own?
If I decided to be crew and I had to pay that
the
$6
one.
Yeah,
but then we wouldn't be crew wives. We would be, I don't know what we would be.
Can we have a discount for crew wives since we're technically in the same household?
Join, you better cancel the Gluck Patreon because I don't want to be paying that much.
Oh no, you're now supporting another crew.
That's
Isn't
so much
he crew?
money going out the ass.
Oh, it's $3 whole.
Right, yeah, but just multiply that by 100.
Did Jen and Morgan have any questions for us?
I don't.
I mean,
that's fair.
I just feel like if Keith and Joey, if you guys could pick one positive thing that came out of Massonomics, right? Like one sentence of that one thing that absolutely changed your life with Massonomics, like how Massonomics changed your life, I should say. Like, how did it? What's that one change?
It made me realize that the lifting community doesn't have to be toxic. So when I first got into lifting and my feed started to become more lifting oriented, there's so much toxic bullshit that goes out there. And I'm very well known for being anti that kind of stuff now, but at the time I thought that's just
Mhm.
what you had to do. You had to mock
Like
other
had to deal
people.
with. Yeah.
You had to
For sure.
be, you had to be aggressive, you had to be big, you had to be all this and all of that. And then I started just once I got into Massonomics and I was like, wait, like we can just be like dudes who have fun with each
Yeah, right.
other and then also
Yep.
just lift. And that's when I started my anti-war with the bar shit. And I started doing all of I think the one that got the most attention was like, what if I did everyday activities the way that people on social media talk about going to the gym, right? And then it was just like aggressively doing the dishes and going to war with the laundry and like all of that dumb shit that I see. And I think Massonomics is part of the reason I even still bother lifting. Is because
Right.
if I had
Yeah.
had to put up with the constant headache of that negativity, the constant headache of you constantly have to be better. This is war. You are a Viking. You are this. You are a warrior. You're that. I would have just said,
Yeah.
this is dumb and I don't want to do it anymore. And
Yeah.
Massonomics was just like, what? You like beer and drinking and funny stuff?
Right.
Come on in, buddy. Like, welcome to the.
Right.
And I was like, this is where I needed to be the whole time. And I used to be a very politically active person. I used to be very community active. And then Massonomics was like, but you don't have to. And then I was like, I don't have
Right.
to. And it doesn't have to be who I am. I can still do that, but I can do that like on my own. It doesn't have to be all of
I
me.
remember
Yeah.
how excited you were for that. You were like, no one
Aw.
brings it up. No one touches those subjects. If you
Right.
bring it
No.
up, people are like, we don't do that here.
You will be
Yeah.
banned. Yeah.
We don't do that here. It's
Love that.
we respect your views, but don't do that.
I mean,
And then
it's
he's
like
just
Right.
like, it's the best. He was so into it.
I was in a cigar group for a while,
Ugh.
and shout out to my buddy. He runs it. He does his best. And like they're posting like sexy ladies with cigars or like I'm smoking this cigar in support of my presidential candidate. And I was just like, this is a fucking cigar group. Calm down.
Right.
Just sexy ladies looking like they're deep throating massive
And
cigars.
I
all
was
the
just
time.
like,
and I'm just
oh,
like, why
yeah.
is everyone
and so
obsessed with smoking these things
Yeah,
that look
no.
like
That's a
beets,
soundbite.
apparently?
and like the beard oil groups and like a company would follow me from a beard company and I'd be like, okay, you're a beard company, I have a beard, this makes sense. But then all their posters just done like skulls and stuff, and I was just like, but Massonomics didn't do that. So I would say it made me realize you don't have to be toxic to be in this community.
Yeah. Yeah. I love
the same vein, I guess. Mainly as I'll go more on the podcast side. So like I had listened every podcast I had listened to before I found theirs was either like home gym equipment. I don't even know if I would say they might even know. They probably predated Jake doing the home gym stuff. So really the only podcast I ever listened to was the Powercast, which was mostly sets and reps and interview stuff. I mean, I guess there was some ball busting and stuff, but it was a lot more sets and reps. So when I got over to Massonomics, and it was just like more interviews, and then obviously like what's the weather in South Dakota, and I'm like, I don't understand what the fuck any of this means, and it's like you're like it takes you like a month of listening to even understand that, like, I don't know. So just basically that I can like listen to a podcast and consume people just shooting the shit and getting to know those people as individuals and be like entertained by just listening to hours and hours of content over the course of years. And then as far as the community aspect of it that I've gotten from it is just that your online friends are actually your real friends, and you end up meeting them in person. And even if you didn't, I'd still feel like, because I've still never met Nate. Like, and Nate's like, I talk to fucking Nate every day. Like,
Right.
but
Right.
I've never
Yeah.
met Nate in person. I've never
Yeah.
put one in the old Vice with Nate. So like you don't have to, like, the community that we've built and how easy it is to Zoom and stuff now too. Like, I don't know. It's just great.
Yeah. I love that. I love both of those answers. I always wondered, like, what did you get from, like, and the fact that they've been able to keep the podcast at that level. Literally,
Mhm.
it has not, the bar has not moved. They have kept it consistent all these years, and it's props to Tammy. That's what
Tammy and Tonner.
Team name.
Sorry.
Tammy and Tonner.
Great.
Awesome.
Folks, thanks so
Ladies.
much, ladies, whatever. Thank you so much for being here. It honestly meant a lot. I hope this episode is really fun for everybody. I think it's time to round it down a little bit there. Do you want to drop our affiliate codes? People have been
Yep, I'll hit you with,
rocking pneumonia
yeah.
codes. I have been getting.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for doing that. That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I think Kim just gave me another $20 the other day, so I'm sitting at a whole. We're at like $99 of profit over 18 months. So
Getting that book.
Woohoo!
So obviously, you guys do us a favor. Go ahead and use code UNPAID at all our affiliates. We've got Obsidian Ammonia, Barbell Rescue, Plate Snacks, Home Gym Con, Belt Fed Strength, and any apparel from the Strength Go. Use code UNPAID there and save anywhere between 5 and 10%, I believe. And then does anyone want to actually give out their Instagrams or their handles or anything and have them find them? If not, it's completely okay. If you do, go ahead and just fire away.
No.
I'm just Jen Damager. I was like, I'm just Jen Damager.
I am extremely private on all social media platforms. So if you look me up, you might not find me.
Not a problem.
I'm Honeycuss, but I literally only post cat stuff. So anything important, people tag me in.
Cats are worth following.
Back to lifting, I'll post.
Yeah, cats are amazing.
But you can go ahead and follow Honeycutt's IG though.
Oh yes, our
Honey
girls,
Cat's IG. Yeah.
our daughters.
Stephanie runs that more often than not. And then Jen, I think you'd said it, but I think we might have talked over it. What was it?
Oh, I'm just Jen Damager. Just my name. Jen
Perfect.
Damager. I'm pretty boring.
Easy.
Or
I mean-
Build Fast Formula.
I was going to do that if you didn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then so Joey, then what's your Facebook that you want to send them over to?
Oh, I don't. But you can find me on Instagram at Joey_Malesko, MLECZKO. You can add me to Facebook if you want, but there's nothing there. I'm literally just on there for following the Morgan, really. Yeah,
Well,
that's about me.
Go find our Instagram if you're not already. Unpaid and Underrated Podcast. We got the website unpaidinternpodcast.com, and we'll see. I'm Keith Honeycutt. You can follow me, Keith Honeycutt 73 on Instagram. Go follow my Orange Gym, the Wine Cellar, and we'll see you next Tuesday.